Yo, yo! In this video, we're going to talk about cowardice. Another spitballing video, of course. And more specifically, why narcissists are cowards. All narcissists are cowards. And why, you might see where I'm going with this, maybe why society is more narcissistic than ever. I think it might have a little thing to do, might have a little something to do with cowardice. That's what we're going to spitball about in this video. Let's see how it goes. All right, 1, 2, 3, crash the car. So, yeah. If you had a narcissist in your life, you're doing the deep healing work, you're doing the research, you're learning about narcissism, or you're just checking up on me to see what my brain's doing today, welcome. Narcissism. Why are they all cowards? Well, to be a narcissist, one must be guarded, wearing a mask, inauthentic. That means no vulnerability. That means they take but don't give. They will always end up that way, which is weak and cowardly. And so I think Nietzsche was onto something, like the whole essence of evil comes from weakness. Like, I'm totally paraphrasing, but essentially, like, being a victim is like bad, like always bad, always. And there is like a very thin line. I struggle with this myself. Healing, doing like being aware of certain things and unhealthy stuff, and being a better person, i.e. healing, right? That's where we have to kind of that's different for everyone, but like the idea of going deep to be a better version of yourself, right? That takes potentially considering yourself to be a victim, potentially seeing yourself that not a victim, but potentially that you were victimized, or potentially that you at some point created a worldview or a self view that was it was based off of something that was done to you, something environmental, right? And the slippery slope between that deep healing and that improvement, and just taking whatever you are and rolling with the punches, i.e. even a narcissist, they can be very they can be very charismatic, and that works. And without that narcissism, how can you lose the charisma? This is why, again, you can't try to help people. Like, it is actually like a form of abuse, because everyone's on their own journey type stuff, right? And it's usually for the person, the trauma bond, blah. Anyway, but I'm gonna try and weave all the way back here into like the cowardice and all this stuff. So narcissism and it being cowardly is the inauthenticity, right? But it seems to me, I might be going a little bit whatever, but it seems to me that the non-narcissists now, this is what's tricky. This is the point of the video, is the non-narcissists, quote unquote, the biggest quotes of all time, are, how do you traverse a society for the sake of argument, if 75% of people are narcissistic, or that even feign narcissism, even have a narcissistic trait, how does one who doesn't want, who isn't that way, how would that person navigate? They're going to be victimized. They're going to be at the very least, the minority. So the leper, the scapegoat, the weird one, the gaslighted one, the ostracized one, because you're different. That's the power of tribalism and ingrained in us, is even if it's evil that everyone is, that would be the status quo. So the point is cowardice. The point is cowardice. Because I would argue, even the non-narcissistic, historically, for lack of a better term, non-narcissistic people, the people that actually are caring, people that have vulnerability, have been gaslit, basically drugged through without a good support system. There's a few exceptions, but a lot of those type of people have been abused by narcs. And it takes a lot of courage not to become cold like them. That is like, I don't know how else to describe, like how else to look at that. Like I always picture like Little Nemo in the darkness, or even like Star Wars, like it's literally light and dark. Like that is energy. These people are evil. Like it is darkness. It's like, it's crazy. And now, and it's fucking weird. It's fucking cowards. They're cowards. Everyone's a fucking coward. I don't know. I feel like I just picture society, like if you just picture society as like, I picture like the movie Gladiator, for example, and you just like the barbarians and the Romans, and it's like the barbarians aren't bad, but in the framing of that movie, they're bad, and it's like, forget that. Let me back up. Just the framing of that being a war. I'm picturing it just for the sake of whatever. Picture it yourself if you've seen the movie, but like an actual war. There is one side against another side, one-on-one. Or any example you want of war. From a movie or from real life. People shooting, killing each other, whatever. Violence, direct, although very complicated as far as the diplomacy and the whole political backdrop of war. Extremely complicated. The actions are pretty straightforward. And now in society, the war is this. We are right now in a war. This is a war. It's just spiritual. It's a spiritual war. It is a war of the psyche. It is a war of truth, which is the only thing that is constant. I don't know. That's probably not even true what I just said. It's the only thing that's constant. It's a war on truth. Period. And if it is true that we're in a spiritual war, how would you best go about fighting someone? If you're fighting their mind, what is the best way to go about fighting someone's mind? Well, I would think it would be changing what truth means. If truth is subjective, you got a real problem on your hands. make everything subjective, you got a real problem on your hands. You can convince people to do anything if you don't know what truth is. What is truth? What is truth in 2025? Truth in 2025. It's so effed. Truth in 2025 is vulnerability. Because if we don't have a religion, we don't have objective truth, the only thing left is vulnerability. Your not your truth, quote unquote, and that it's like basically another way of saying the whole gaslighty subjective truth. No, but literally your truth in the way of, this is what I believe and I'm willing to die for it. These are my boundaries. Does that make any sense? And those boundaries that used to be red versus blue, if you're a Halo nerd, whatever war, there's a boundary. Then red, whatever that boundary of civilizations and war, and this is where the land is being conquered. It's now a boundary of our own psyche and what we're willing to, at an individual level, accept, believe, and accept again. Of course, I went through a whole big trying to fix the fucking world like I'm goddamn, I almost said Team America, Miss America. How do we fix world peace? Well, we deal with the psyche. We're in a sport. But I'm just spitballing. I don't know. And that's the thing, is like, this is where my mind's at, is this is how cowardice works. This is how insidious, of course, manipulation is too. But are like really, really bad people can manipulate people, and good people is slowly bullying the frog, and so you just do little things at a time. It's like, oh, it's not that bad. That's the proof is in the pudding. This might be but it's so fucking obvious that there's people I'm convinced there's people trying to destroy this, because people be like, oh, it's not that bad. It can't get any worse, this and that. It's like, it keeps people from action. But when you say things can't get any worse, that's under the prerequisite that you think people are trying to make things better. And if people are trying to make things worse, people meaning people in power or whatever, the people at the top of the pyramid, they're trying to make things worse, then the only option is to stand up. That's the thing, is no one tells you when they're abusing you. It'd be so much easier if people are abusing you and they said, hey, this is me and I'm abusing you. Hey, this is me and I'm gaslighting you. Hey, I'm a bad person and I'm here to try to destroy you. It's unfortunate, but yeah, unfortunately those people never do that. They would kind of go against their whole, incentive to do the destructive stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, we just allow a little bit more. George Carlin said it best. That's why you don't see his specials very much. That's the thing about Americans. We're always willing to trade a little bit of our freedom for the illusion of safety. Fucking airports, fucking everything. Nice and safe. Everything's nice and safe. I can just drive to work every day, get a little fake money, buy the thing that fulfills the thing for a little while, fill that little fucking hole soul in my heart, and I just kind of go through life. Oh, Bill Cosby with pudding. Yeah. And now I mean, I'm an older man, so it's an inevitable thing, but man, it's this is a lot of a tangent, this one, but yeah, it's we're pretty much enslaved at this point. Not the fun kind where you're like in the bedroom doing some weird role play. No, we're like enslaved in our brains and our way of thinking. You know things are bad when being weird. Look how weird I'm being. I made a face. And that's like, you're weird. And that's like a bad thing. And it's just people are weak. People are cowards. It's easy to do because then if the group says you're bad, then it's like you don't want to be ostracized from the group. This is how we have communism. This is how World War II. This is how we have all this stuff happen. Wish I wasn't partying so much in 2020. That was like, it really was like the final party. Now this is just kind of like we're watching it play out, but I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it, so I'm always like kind of like teasing with the fact that just like going balls out like anarchy in the UK, stir up the shit. But then it's like, then I picture this moment when I was at I might have told the story where I was in a mosh pit and I was in this moment. Fun, really fun band. You get your energy up in that. And I actually I've been kicked out of every show they've ever done, and yeah, I do take pride in that. And but I got people to dance. I got a mosh pit started the first time. Then some girl complained about me, and so the bouncer pulled me out by my neck. And then this last time yeah, that's fine. Like, that was fine. But this last time it's just like I poured like fake blood on myself, and they like stopped the show. A part of me goes like, okay, yeah, I'm a weirdo, and yeah, of course. And then if you thought that was real blood, yeah, like, but I had a like, you saw it. And let me back up. I was the only one dancing. I'm jumping up and down. I'm trying to dance. Everyone's staring at me. So it was basically me kind of just flipping the table over at that point. So I get it. Of course, that reaction makes sense. But the point is that being sane is insane. Another way of saying that is being authentic is insane. Being vulnerable is insane now. Being a drone and being a narcissist and being a weak simpleton is totally sane. Being a slave is sane. So I guess my point is, what are you fighting back against? If you want to fight against something, what the hell does that even mean anymore? I say that, but I'm literally contradicting myself at the same time I'm saying it, because I'm like, all it takes is one person to make a change in the world. Like, that's the power of truth. It's truth. It does something to the soul like nothing else. When people feel seen, whether it's a song or a piece of art or a movie that lets someone feel seen, it's impossible. Like it's just so beautiful. To be really vulnerable is so scary, but it also makes it so much more worthwhile. This sounds kind of crazy. I'm just trying to, and I'm being a little ambiguous, but I'm just trying to, I'm trying to, yeah, I'm just express myself the best I can and be as real as I fucking possibly can. Make the other crazy people out there in the interwebs not feel as crazy. Maybe I'm helping. I don't know. Maybe I'm making things worse. I don't know. I'm just expressing my brain best I can. I'm not a fucking coward. I've never felt more cowardly though. It's so much easier to be a coward. I just want to do difficult stuff and be rewarded for it again. Like, remember in society when you'd work out and get rewarded for it, or you'd make something great and people would like you get, like, it's pretty sick to get validation from something that's shit. Like, right, like we make these complaining videos, whatever's going on, and we're worried about the reward, versus the journey. So like the journey is like, I make cat videos on TikTok for $5,000 a month, and it's like, versus making like a song every 6 months and making $0. Maybe I'm just making excuses because there are people that. No, I think I'm being real because, like, at scale, like generally speaking, right? Speaking generally, so no, it's not an excuse. Because yeah, of course there's exceptions, but it just feels like this whole society is gaslighting us. I'm sick of talking about it. Sick of feeling like the Martian. Sick of these women and their brokenness. I'm sick of these men and their weakness. Sick of myself and my stagnation. Sick of myself and my complaining. I think I'm done. Have a good one, guys. Don't fall into the narcissistic trap. Be yourself, be vulnerable, be weird. Hang in there. I love you all.